Hi, this is Paul. I wanted to do a little video on the case of the clothing pile. Now, this will just give you a little taste of my job and my life at Living Stones and what it's like to be in a church and be a pastor. So, as many of you know, last summer we put up the fence all across the Amherst side of the building, and you can see that. You can see that here in the. Let's see. You can see that there. You can see the fence behind, and you see the gates that keep people out. And then, of course, in January, the storm came through and knocked down some of the fences, and then we had more campers and all of that. And so slowly we've been picking up the mess, and we repaved the parking lot. And just last week, Roger finally came along and completed the fence, and so the whole property was fenced off. And so last Sunday morning, I get here early, the fences are closed, it's early in the morning, I'm going to open up, and I drive up to open one of the gates, and I see this from the street. And immediately in my mind, I start thinking, how on earth did this pile of clothing get here? It's just because there's a fence all around doesn't mean nobody can get into the property. There are various ways you can climb the fence or kind of sneak around in a certain inconvenient place in the back that I know about, that I'm sure some of the people in the neighborhood also know about. So, but basically what the gate and the fence keeps out are pickup trucks from contractors that like to illegally dump in the parking lot, a lot of shopping carts that homeless would come and bring all kinds of stuff here and leave all kinds of garbage and things in the parking lot. We're basically just getting inundated with garbage and camping and all of those things, which is why we put up the gate. So then Sunday morning I see this pile and my mind starts to turn, how did this pile get here? So one of the members of the church that comes, and he and his son take care of the grounds, I was thinking, did they find a cache of clothing in those bushes? Because those bushes right there have been used by homeless people for a long time to cache things, and it's been a toilet, it's been all sorts of things in there. And there's actually a security camera right up there. That's a really good security camera that Rick put in, that we're actually going to move to a pole on the other side of the parking lot. So I'm just trying to figure out, how on earth did this happen? And then I saw that the security cam was pointed in just such a way that, well, maybe I can look at the security camera and solve the mystery of the pile of women's clothing in the locked parking lot. So I get into church and I open up the app, and well, that's the car from the member and his son that often come over to take care of the lawn. And let's kind of speed things up. Let's see if it's moving. This app hasn't really worked that well lately. And this particular individual is almost 90 years old, and so he usually opens the gate and he leaves it open and he kind of leaves the lock hanging, and then it's like, oh, well, what's this? Who's this person? So he left the gate open and he's out there sort of clipping the weeds around, and this guy shows up. And what's up with that? What you doing? Huh. Now, probably part of this is, well, I've got all these donation things that I want to get rid of, and I'd feel badly putting them in. I'd feel badly putting them in the garbage can, and maybe Goodwill is closed right now, and so, well, that's a church. Why don't I just go to the church and just put the thing by the church? It doesn't matter if the church doesn't have a clothing closet. Doesn't matter if the church isn't asking for any of this stuff. I'm just going to take this stuff and I'm going to put it here by the church. And that will be my good deed that I do. Now, the problem is, I don't have a clothing closet. We don't tend to do this. This happens all the time. And this happens all the time. And once we put the gate in, well, it hasn't been happening. And if people dump it in the street, well, it's the city's problem. It's not my problem. But, does he stop? Does he flag the guy that's walking over there saying, hey, this is what I'm doing? Does he do any of that? No, he just drives in, takes all the stuff out, puts it in the parking lot, drives away. And there it sits. And there it sits. And there it sits. And there it's going to sit for a while. And in fact, the member and his son, he kind of takes, he's getting up in age, like I say, he's 90, but I can't stop him from doing this. This is what he loves to do. And it's a little bit of income. His son actually gets paid to do it for the church. And so he looks at this stuff and doesn't quite know what to make of it. So he leaves it. And then they get in their car and they leave. And so there it will sit. And if I'd gotten to church on Sunday morning, I'd like to say to the guy, you can save us all work. If you just put it in your garbage can, that's fine. No, but it's all at least in bags. So whatever I would do with it from that point would probably be easy. But it's Saturday night, and I'm not coming back here. And Sunday morning when I get here, I'm going to be ready to go. But it still doesn't explain why the stuff is all over the place. So it gets dark. This is 8 o'clock at night. Still everything's just in the garbage bags. And wait a minute. About almost 11 o'clock at night, a little bit of movement over there. And a little bit of movement. No, that's just the bush. And here comes the solution to the mystery. Oh, someone's in. Oh, there's bags there. Oh, wonder what's in these bags. Oh, let's work on these bags a little bit. Oh, it's clothing. Let's start going through them. So now it's 11:40, and she's still working at it. I know who this person is. She's been around for years. Every bag gets opened. Every article of clothing comes out. So about 2 hours of sorting, and there she goes back this way, back to the back of the property, which is this real skinny way, a little uncomfortable, but you can sort of get into the property, which she probably knows. And so then the next morning, I get there, and the bag sits. Oh, I didn't even see this. So we had more action. I had forgotten. I had just looked quickly on Sunday morning and saw what happened and didn't see that there was a whole nother second round. So I guess she went and got someone else to go through it with. So in some ways, the guy with the pickup truck, mission accomplished. Got the stuff gone through and made a contribution to some people who clearly wanted what he no longer cared to have. Now they're sitting down and enjoying some libations, and this thing isn't working real well. Kind of sitting on the pile, laying down on it, having a nice rest. Let's see, it's 1:45 now. Well, still kind of looking through everything. It's just fascinating, the nightlife. Once people leave, once everything goes dark. Well, then there's the church cat. This cat likes hanging around at the church here, and obviously took a look and triggered the light going on. Let's see. How long does this go? Let's see. It's 2:15. She's still at it. 2:30, still going through stuff. 3 a.m., 4 hours into the process. The pile's getting bigger. Now, she's sort of a firebug, so every now and then she sort of lights something up there, but fortunately she didn't manage to ignite the clothing. Now she's sort of putting on layer after layer to make getting the haul easier. 4:15, still at it, so she's been at it for over 5 hours. Here at 4:20, she takes a nap on the pile. Nap lasted for about an hour, and 5 a.m. she's back sorting. Now the sun's coming up. It's 5:15. She's still at it. 5:30. She's taking another nap on the pile. Like I said, first time I saw this, I didn't even go through it because it was Sunday morning. I just kind of quickly checked, and here it's 5:38, and she's still at it. I wonder what time she left and I got there. Almost 6 o'clock, and she's putting on some more layers. It's the easiest way to carry stuff. Apparently, there are a lot of handbags in there. She seemed to have gotten those. So again, mission accomplished to the guy who donated it. Wanted to get it to someone less fortunate. She's loading up the bags with the handbags. And she's kind of straightening up, which was really nice for us, so I didn't have to do too much straightening up. Oh, she's just about got the haul ready. She's got all the bags and almost ready to go. 6:30. 6:32, mission accomplished. 8:30, here I come. This thing isn't working quite right. I'm going to walk across the parking lot, take a picture of the little pile, and that's where the story starts. So you just never quite know what's going to happen. and just like sort of seeing the whole story. This might be the most boring video in the world to you, but it's just sort of another day at Living Stones. So I hope you like this this mystery as much as I did. And then while I'm getting ready to teach Sunday school, poor old Roger makes his way there, has to clean up the mess before too many people get to church. And today, actually, it'll go out on the curb, and I suspect that once it goes out on the curb, someone else will have a chance to go through it and find their little treasures.